everyone, my name is Sam. Thanks for checking out this video. If you get the video, like it, then subscribe, bell notification, give the video a thumbs up. Sorry about the lighting. It's been overcast, like dark overcast for several days here now. So we're just gonna live with it with the orange in-house lighting. Okay? Yeah, so for once I'm caught up on monthly wrap-ups and hauls and TBRs and all that fun stuff. So I was like, you know what? We just gonna probably talk some trash about some book covers. There's been a bunch of book releases, kind of in waves, with everything a lot of books getting pushed to September and all that stuff. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, like, book covers that have come out since the last time I did this video. Yes, I'm also sitting just because, like, I've done so much adulting this weekend, I've just had enough of life. So, yeah, let's, like, breeze through a bunch of these, covers and see what we think about them. So first up is the cover for City of the Plague Gods by Sarwat Shada. I freaking love that cover. Rick Riordan has like such a a very like noticeable of like, oh, that's a Rick Riordan imprint cover. Like you look at it and you know what it is. I really like the cover, the cover's color scheme, whatever that word is, the pinks and then the pinks and then the purpley blue and the orange and the riding in the wind. I'm just really excited for that book in general too, so that could definitely be like skewing my love of that cover, but I really, really like that cover. The cover for Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. At first I looked at it and was like, it's kind of plain. And like, sure, yeah. But I'm hoping the way that they did the first book, that they do some metallic-y texture, and I think that'll look really, really cool. I like that there's like a person's face that's like a bird with like the sun. That's really cool. I just hope they do something with it, because that printed on like plain, no textured, no nothing paper is gonna look really, really, really boring. But her Trail of Lightning series, it has like a metallic-y, glittery material that they've put the cover on. So like the green, yellow background sky is all like metallic-y looking. So if they do that, that'll look really, really nice. Blaze Wrath Games, I had never freaking heard of that, and then the cover dropped and I was like, it absolutely looks like a graphic novel cover, but apparently it's just a regular novel. So I think that's something that like publishers are starting to struggle with as we're asking for more illustrated, like designed covers. That some of them are starting to look like graphic novel covers, which I mean, there's worse things in the world that could happen, like having a faceless white girl in a ball gown on your cover. I would rather this over that, but I really love it. It's pink as hell. It's pink as hell. I love that so much. But also it's got dragons and I just like it. Do I wish it was a person of color on the cover? Sure, absolutely. But everything else about that cover, the dragons and the colors and everything, I'm really, really excited for. I had never heard of that book, and I like stopped in my tracks when I saw it on my Twitter thread and was like, okay, well I have to go find out about this book, and it's sitting in my Indigo cart as like a maybe I'll buy it if it goes on sale book. I was so excited for the Left-Handed Bookseller of London book by Garth Nix. It just sounds like everything I want in my life, but that cover is hella boring. Like just like a that doesn't look like anything. It's just one of many other plethora of books. I mean, there's like a wolf or something in the corner side of it, and I have an inkling feeling based on that they didn't do a big cover reveal, which I feel like is weird for Garth Nix, that it's just going to be printed on like plain material. There's not going to be any like anything done with end pages or anything like that. It just looks very basic and boring, and I'm just like, my interest in the book kind of went like, oh, okay. The Year of the Witching, okay. I don't think this cover is necessarily anything special. I like that it's like gray, black, and white. I feel like it gives like this like weird like Halloween-y, darky, shit's gonna go down feeling. And when you read the summary, I think that matches with the summary. And I like that we do have a person that looks like a person of color, at least on the cover. And I like the burnt like yellowy beige color that we use in like older books. But when I look at it as like a hint, and there's like specks of blood on the cover too, which is like, oh, things are gonna get murdery. So I saw the cover and I was like, oh, what is this book? And like looked it up, and it's again sitting in my Indigo cart to go on sale, to buy if it goes on sale. I don't think the cover is anything special necessarily, but it's a cover that has interested me in the book. And I'd be curious to see if they're gonna print it on anything special. I'm also annoyed because I know it's gonna be, it's it's pitched, it's a YA book, and like the classifications I've seen everywhere, like on Goodreads and all these other places, it's classified with a young adult heading, and then when you go to the bookstore, they've classified it as an adult book, so they can charge like $40 for the hardcover in Canada, which like, miss me with that. Unless you're Stephanie Meyer, and then we charge $35 Canadian for a young adult book. Among the Beasts and Briar by Ashley Poston. This is a really, really cute cover. I don't know that it's necessarily, again, anything super special, but when I look at it, I feel whimsy. I feel like we're going to get a fairy tale-y thing, and I think that matches with what the summary is. It'd be really, really cool if they lift the things that look like they're like, I don't know if it's sewed in is the right word, but like, just like the roots and the fox. If they actually lift that, at least on the first one, that'd be really, really nice. I think it will look very boring. Very, very boring if they're all just printed on like a plain, no material specialty, nothing. It's just white with like a couple colors on it. I don't know that would be especially interesting to see finished. Shine by Jessica Young. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put like a person on it the way that they did with K-Pop Confidential by Stephen Lee, is it? That cover? Which I was excited because I saw that's Moonbull. I can never say her name properly. That's Moonbull. That's Moonbull from Mamamoo, and I fucking love her. But yeah, Shine by Jessica Young. If you don't know, she was in Girls' Generation, which was this giant K-pop group in like second gen. I'm curious, like it looks very, when I look at that, I'm like, oh, that's very like Girls' Generation-y like cover. Like when I look at it, it's bright, it's colorful, it's glittery, like that makes me think that. So I'm curious to see if they're gonna have any lifting on that, or if it's just printed plain. Like I feel like I don't understand why publishers use like glitter or gold like looking on that, but then they don't actually print it on anything with gold or glitter. That just seems lazy, like a totally missed opportunity. It ends up like deflating when I look at that, like the value of the cover, right? Like just use a different color. So I hope they do print that on something, and I hope they lift it. The word shine, like the title is so large on the cover that I think they really do need to lift it, or it's just like gonna be weird. Okay, Kamiya Fair, I kind of have beef with this one. Pretty, yeah. Absolute ripoff of the Sullivan Sisters. Yeah, so I don't know if it's the same artist, but that's an actual copy of the Sullivans. Like that I literally looked at it and thought it was a sequel, and I was like, did the Sullivan Sisters come out already? And looked, and I was like, oh, that's a copy. They just changed the purple to teal. Okay, I don't know that I'm ever going to buy this book, but Spellbreaker by Charlie Hollenberg looks really cool. I love books that have like a world on top and then a world on the bottom. The Never Tilting Worlds cover is like that too. Or even like the Spellslinger series books that I have, the cards, you have the person on top and then the person on the bottom. I love when they do that because you always have like a conflicting, like a good and an evil, or like a sun and the night and whatever it may be. I love that. I love that so much. The cover, I like it, but it looks, when I step away, I'm like, oh, that's kind of simple looking. It's just kind of simply looking. If they had maybe done something instead of the person, like the female silhouette, and made something else on there, maybe put it in the sky, it would have looked maybe a little different. It just looks very center heavy right now. Like it doesn't look like there's really anything going on the top or the bottom at all. They also just released the cover for The Project by Courtney Summers. Again, I've never actually read Courtney Summers. Everyone seems to love her stuff, and I feel bad too, because she's a Canadian author. I think she actually lives in Alberta. And I know her Sadie series sold, like, book sold insanely well. Her stuff just sounds like I would just be, like, really, like hate, like, the way I kind of hate the world after I read a Mindy McGinnis book a lot of the times. Or the way I hate the world after, like, The Hate U Give, right? So, but the Project cover is awesome. I freaking love that. If they had left it with just like the silhouette, like the red silhouette with the girl's hair fun, I would have been like, nah, bitch, like miss me with that. But then putting the illustration inside of the hair of like it looks like a cottage in front of a river. It looks maybe like a little bit like fairy tale-esque, but it's definitely not. Her stuff is always darker. I really, really like that cover. And again, if they don't do anything special on the material that they printed on, that'll still look really nice and detailed, I think. I just saw the cover reveal for Down Comes the Night. I don't know, that just doesn't look like anything special to me. It looks, it makes me think a little bit of like R.L. Stine, but like R.L. Stine things are so iconic, like the Goosebumps series or whatever. This just looks, I'm not totally sure. I'm not sure if it's a horror or mystery or historical fiction. I'm not totally sure when I look at that cover. It also looks very, very plain, so you have to do some really cool stuff with the texturing on the paper you printed on for me to be like, oh yeah, that's worth $25-something, right? They just released the cover for Vampires Never Get Old. Tales with Fresh Bite. Zoraida Cordova, the author of Incendiary and Brujaborn, is the editor for that. I'm curious alone because vampires are back. I like a lot of the authors that are in there. I'm not a huge fan normally of anthologies, so I generally don't buy them. When I do get them, I get them through the library for sure. I think they're a convenient way though that like you can pick up like one story a day if you only have a little bit of time. You just read that and like walk away and you're like, okay, I've read that. Like I don't have to remember half of it and come back in 2 days, right? I really, really like the cover. And if they do any sort of metallic-y on like the hotter pink side, that'll look really cool. Or if they do metallic on the teeth, the fangs coming out, that'll be cool. But if they just print it plain, I look at it and it makes me think a little bit of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like the feels of it for some reason. So that one I may wait and see what the finished copy looks like. And if the under dust jacket is pink, I'm screwed. I have to buy it. Another one, not new, and I think it's actually coming out really soon. You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Darya. That's probably not how you say it properly. I love that cup. That looks like a holiday vacation, like telenovela poster kind of combined. I love that. I love the illustration. Whoever illustrated that did a really, really good job. It looks beautiful. The colors though are so nice. The pink and the red and the yellow and the blue all complement each other, which I feel like can be hard with pink and red, but I really, really love that. Even the typeset of the font, it looks really, really nice. I really like that. That's one I hadn't heard of and just saw the cover and was like, shit. Put it in my cart and see if it goes on sale because I'm really curious about that, but I actually did buy it for my libraries even then, so I'm very curious to see what that one looks like finished. These Fezzik Flames, I feel like this is one of the ones that has been like a recent like big cover reveal online, like the publisher did it with like a magazine to do the reveal or whatever in an excerpt. I like it. I do definitely like it, but I look at it and I feel like I've seen this cover like layout before, that you have like the corners, each corner has something in it, and in the middle you have the big, so I think the typeset is my big issue of the title and the author and everything. It's not, it doesn't mesh with all of the other stuff. I think they needed to use a different typeset. Not saying like Comic Sans or whatever, but like maybe a bit more medievally looking, kind of, even if they wanted to do like a big, like, if you look in old documents, like normally the first letter of a chapter or whatever is like big, like lettering, right? Like a big design on it. Maybe if they did something like that, I don't know. The typeset just doesn't seem to match all of the detailing of everything else on there, and I think this is one that will definitely lose something of it if they don't do anything special with the printing. If they don't lift or foil the gold, I don't think this is going to look particularly nice. I Get the Education by Naomi Novik. You know what? The first time I looked at that, I was like, well, it's kind of plain. That's very simple. But now that I'm looking at it, it reminds me of a couple different textbooks I had in school. And old work, that when I would see like the old monographs and old historical documents, when you see the cover, I'm like, oh, it kind of has that same, I don't know, layout's the right word, but I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense now. So I actually can appreciate, like, I think it actually looks very iconic now. I'll be curious because it's supposed to be a series. So if they continue doing that, they can play around with like what that like little thing means. And I'm curious, normally I feel like books that have a big emblem like really front and center, it's explained in the book and it ties in an awful lot, and I can appreciate a way more when a book's like, oh, okay, we're gonna connect the content with the cover, because I feel like that's so rarely done nowadays. I really appreciate that. All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace. Okay, she was in the TBR and Beyond group a couple days ago, so that was really fun. So that is the sequel to All the Stars and Teeth. I love the colors they picked with this. I don't know there are many books that pick purple, pink, orange, and a little bit of yellow. I love the detailing and everything around the frames, but honestly too, this is like the same, you know what I mean, format of saying for these flames of feathers. I think it's basically the same thing of having things in the corner, border it, and then put things, but they did something with the title is big and bold and there, and there's a different type, you know what I mean? The typeset matches all this other stuff. It's not just like a Times New Roman. City of the Uncommon Thief. I really like the design. All of the elements of it. There's all those animals going in and around it. I like the typeset of the font of the title. I'm just not totally sold on the colors. I don't know what this will look like finished if they don't do anything. If they print it on plain whatever, this is not going to translate well, I don't think, because there's a lot of like shadow effects that I don't have a lot of faith that this is going to be printed the way it should be to show off all the details. And also it just gives them another excuse to put a dust jacket on a plain black underneath book, which Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. It looks cute. I'll definitely pick it up because I like Marissa Meyer. I don't know that I'll buy it because it's, again, not a genre that I generally like to buy a book and then read it and reread that book. But it's definitely cute. I like the typeset. I like the cartoony elements of it. I definitely like the cover. It's very blue, like I just said, but it's really cute. The Evercruel Kingdom. I freaked when I freaking saw this. They kept the same theme from the Never Tilting World, because I took a step and I was like, no what, screw it. I'm gonna bank that they're not gonna change it. So I bought the Never Tilting World, which I absolutely freaking love. I love that they kept this same, like, the colors and and having the opposing worlds. The way in the first world you have the first book you have the sun and then the ice and night and day kind of thing. I love this cover so much. And again, I wish they wouldn't have printed this on matte, because I think it lost some of its the specialty of it. Even if they had put some of it on gloss to show to put the sun side on the gloss, so it would be a bit more shiny and reflective than the other one, to have that continuing opposing elements. They didn't. But honestly, I still love this cover. I just wish they would have printed it on something different material-wise. Godstorm by Coco Ma. I like that cover. It's got the pink and the purple. Well, I guess it's more purple than anything else. But I really like that cover. Again, it's got the big text in the middle, icon element. And it changes from what the first one was, from Shadow Frost, right? So, I hope that's what they do with the Deadly Society, or Deadly Academy. Naomi Novik's book that I was just talking about. I really like that, and the colors I think are really, really nice. And they printed off, I think, quite vibrantly. If I can remember what the finished copy looks like of the first book, Shadow Frost. So hopefully that still goes. Surrender Your Sons, weirds me the hell out, but I saw it and I was like, what is this book? And I went and looked and was like, okay. And I pre-ordered it for my libraries because I feel like this fits for a lot of stuff what we're looking for. So it's definitely a weird book. Those what are those tests where the scientist holds up an abstract thing and they're like, what does this look like to you? This is what it looks like to me. It looks really cool and really messed up. So I'm actually kind of interested in reading this one from the library. The Once and Future Witches. I love this so much. So much. It'll look fine. Absolutely. I don't think there'll be any issues if it's printed plain with nothing else, no added details, nothing. The way the 10,000 Doors of January was. This would really benefit from all those extra, lifting the banner or flowers being lifted or whatever. But I love it. I love it. And it's a big thing in the middle, but it takes up so much space with the title that it kind of just covers everything. You don't need anything else added on the top and the bottoms and the sides. And I like the typeset that they went with. And they bolded some words and they, unbolded some words to emphasize that. It's a really, really well-designed cover. Jo and Laurie. I'm saying no because this book is an abomination and it shouldn't exist. I don't know who told these authors. Sorry, authors. I'm not trying to be mean to you. Who told you this was a good idea? But absolutely not. Miss me with this shit. This book should not exist. The whole premise is missing the entire point of Little Women. No. The colors are nice, sure. But I'm just angry at this entire entity being in existence. I'm so angry. No. Why is this book happening? I want a fucking Atlantis retelling and you're trying to rewrite the ending of Little Women, so Jo and Laurie. Stop it. Miss me with that. The Inheritance Game, I think it's kind of the same layout that we had for the Once and Future Witches and a couple other books in the series, having something just big and bold in the middle. I really like the colors. If they print this and lift the middle, crest thing, that'll look so cool, and it'll feel, just because I think of the colors with the gold and the green, it'll feel more expensive. I just have when I look at them, ooh, it's bougie. Right? So, for some reason, I look at it and I'm like, ooh, the Beauty and the Beast. I don't know why. That doesn't really connect. Anyways. But, really interested in this book. The cover is beautiful, but I had already read the the summary before. I've never read anything by this author before, so I'll probably get it from the library first. But I would be heavily tempted if this book went on pre-order sale to just buy it. If they print it plain, with nothing lifted on just like matte paper, the publishers are fucking morons, okay? I can't, like, I don't know what else to do with publishers who buy and like, well, and they hire, I don't know what the process is, but I think they have multiple people submit illustrations and they pick from there. But you go through that process and then get this beautiful cover and then are like, yeah, no, we're not going to do anything with it. Like, the Kingdom of Back, why the fuck would you have that glorious fucking tree on it and not do anything with it? Are you insane? What is wrong with you? Iron Heart by Nina, I love this cover. The rose gold peach pinkness of it with like kind of purple everywhere. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And I hope they do with what they did with the first cover, which is like, it felt like it was a stamp imprinted on the cover. So some of it was like all of the little lines and everything were lifted. Oh, this will look and feel so cool. And again, feel expensive if they do that because the first one, loved it. So I'm definitely going to be picking this one up. It's going to be a pre-order for me for sure. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I actually already pre-ordered this from my libraries and there's like 40 people on hold for it already for the one copy. So people are excited for it. I'm not someone who's like a cyber, like, uber fan of like, Victoria Schwab. I've read some of her stuff. I've enjoyed some of her stuff. It looks unfinished sort of way. I don't know if they're going to do something really cool texture-wise, but this printed on plain, like matte is gonna look really basic, and that's not something that would stop me in a bookstore. So I don't know if they're leaning really heavy on her name to sell this book. If they are, I'm not sure how that'll turn out because it's adult book, I think, technically, and she's more big in the YA field, it seems. If they don't do anything special with the finished dust jacket, which, let's be real, with the history of publishers in North America, they're not going to do anything special to it. They're lazy and they're cheap when it comes to that sort of stuff. When you look at like the UK, when they pay the same price for books that we do in Canada, basically, and they get sprayed end pages, foiled this, signed that, the under dust jacket has embossment, and in Canada, they're like, well, I mean, we got you an exclusive Indigo chapter, which is the same exclusive chapter that Barnes & Noble got, but Barnes & Noble, for some reason, was able to get signed copies of it. Why am I paying more money for it in Canada and I'm, like, not getting any of these special details? Like, it's very... I'm hoping they're going to do, like, exclusive editions for, like, book boxes, maybe, to make it more appealing. But as just an outsider, I know when the cover came out, everyone seemed a little bit underwhelmed, for sure. So I hope they're going to do something cool with the textures. These Violet Delights, I screamed at the bus station in Ottawa when this cover came out. I was there with my mom. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. I love it so much. It looks and sounds and like I think it's one of my most anticipated releases for this year anyways, but like it just looks so cool. So cool. I love the colors of the dragon and the sword, and then the font. Like, I don't know that gold and silver normally always work really well together, but on the cover having the gold dragon and like the silvery gray type, I love that. I love. This will be really elevated if they do put a foil on the dragon or if they lift it or something, but I think it'll still look just as pretty and vibrant on a plain printed material. So, those are some of the books that have had cover reveals in the last little while that I want to talk about. Let me know what your thoughts are on them. Or if you have a book cover that you wanted me to talk about that I didn't talk about, maybe I can respond in the comments down below. I will not link all of these books in the description box down below because I don't have the time or patience to do that for like 50 books, okay? Or however many books, anything that's hard. The titles are there. Take a gander over on Goodreads. Most of them are probably on my want to read shelf anyways. I will link all of my social media down below. If you follow me, I will follow you back so long as actually, I shouldn't even say that too, because I've been following people back and then I get like sketchy accounts like sending me like creepy DMs or like weird like sketch links. So like, as long as your account isn't super sketchy looking, I will follow you back. Anyways, be safe, stay healthy, stay clean, do not go outside if you don't really need to. Loosening restrictions does not mean life is back to normal. The virus is still around. We still need a vaccine. And stop being stupid, okay? Please, I beg of you. We all want this to be over, and acting rashly in advance of when you should and ignoring medical professionals doesn't change the fact that we're just going to get another wave if you're acting stupid.